These 4 exercises are the exercises you need to be doing to build insane strength on the mat for jiu-jitsu. What's going on, guys? My name is Josh Selledge. I am the BJJ strength coach. My man Phil Daru called me up and he said, hey Coach Jay, put everybody on game real quick. Give them 4 unique exercises that they could be doing to build strength for jiu-jitsu. The type of training that we're going to be doing today is featured in Phil Daru's Fight Dominance training program. This is one of the best strength and conditioning training programs that you could follow to develop elite level strength, elite level conditioning, decrease the risk of injury, and enhance your performance in combat sports. Fight Dominance is the exact training system that Phil Daru uses with the best athletes in MMA, boxing, judo, and jiu-jitsu. Athletes like Joanna Jędrzejczyk, Dustin Poirier, and many other MMA champions and legends. You guys can start a free 7-day trial of Fight Dominance by clicking the link in the description below. Exercise number 1, the Zercher Good Morning. The Zercher Good Morning is a great exercise that you can use to develop a massively strong posterior chain. Here's the deal. You can't be strong if your posterior chain is weak. And the posterior chain is going to be the center of all athletic movements. Your posterior chain contains your lower back, your glutes, aka your cheek meat, and your hamstrings. As you strengthen your low back, your glutes, and your hamstrings, not only are you going to have more powerful and more explosive takedowns, you're also going to be able to decrease your overall risk of injury to your low back and your knees. The Zercher Good Morning is a great exercise that's not only going to help develop your posterior chain, but because we're getting a double underhook position on the bar, we're loading the front of our body, which places a lot more load and strain on our upper back. So if you think about it, the Zercher Good Morning is an amazing exercise to develop everything from your upper back all the way down to your hamstrings. The Zercher Good Morning is a great exercise that you could use as a max effort exercise, working up to a 3 to 5 rep max, or you could use this as a secondary exercise, performing 2 to 3 sets of anywhere from 4 to 6 reps. Exercise number 2, the Larson Press. If you follow the Fight Dominance training program or you're familiar with any of Coach Daru's content in the past, you'll be very familiar with the floor press. The floor press is an amazing exercise for the upper body that allows you to develop horizontal pressing strength. You may also be familiar with the exercise, the bench press. What we're going to be doing next is a hybrid between the two. We're taking the lack of leg drive and the lack of stability from the floor press and mixing that with the full range of motion of the bench press. I introduce to you the Larson Press. The Larson Press is an amazing upper body strength building exercise that was invented by Adrian Larson, who's one of the best bench pressers who's ever lived. And it's a great way for you to develop horizontal pressing strength, work through a large range of motion, and improve your overall upper body stability. When doing the Larson Press, you're gonna set up just like you would for a normal bench press. There are 2 variations that you can do with your feet. The first one being you can keep your legs outstretched in front of you, or you can put your feet up and tuck your heels by your butt. If you're going to use this variation, it's important to note that as you start straining through a big weight, don't lift your butt up to change the position. Try to lock out the rep. If you're struggling with shoulder pain, one thing that you can do to still get the benefit of the Larson Press is to mix in a slingshot from markbellslingshot.com. This is the latest slingshot that Mark dropped. It's called the Money Slingshot. It's a great way for you to not only save your shoulders and bench heavy or do horizontal pressing exercises heavy and without pain, but it's also going to help reinforce proper bench press technique, and it can also be used as a great way to overload the body for greater future strength gains. The Larson Press is a great exercise that you can use both as a max effort exercise, working up to a 1 to 5 rep max, or you can use it as a secondary exercise, performing 2 to 3 sets of 4 to 6 reps. Exercise number 3, the Cossack Squat. The Cossack Squat is a great body weight exercise that you can do to improve mobility of your adductors, aka your groin muscles, your hips, as well as help warm up the body for whatever workout you're going to be doing and develop strength in different ranges of motion. To do the Cossack Squat, you're going to take a pretty wide stance. You want to make sure that your toes are pointed relatively straight forward. It's okay to angle your feet out a little bit, but what we don't want to do is have our toes turned out like a duck. Think about having your big toe pointed forward. What we're going to do is we're going to start with extended knees and hips. From there, we're going to push our butt back just like we would on a normal squat, and then we're going to shift our weight over all the way to one side. One thing to notice is that I'm keeping this leg straight the entire time. My big toe, my pinky toe, and my heel are all connected to the floor, and it's gonna stay that way as I continue to sink down all the way over to this side. Try to get through the deepest range of motion as you can. If you can get ass to grass, that's great. From there, you're gonna get into the deepest range of motion you can under control. Then you're gonna drive yourself back to the center position. Squeeze your glutes at the top, get full extension of the hips. Then you're gonna perform the same thing on the other side. Exercise number 4, the banded Y press. As a grappling athlete, if you've been in the game for as long as Phil or I, or even if you've had just a couple months of experience on the mat, you know and you understand that upper back strength is very important. Having a strong posture in your wrestling is very important in setting up shots for your takedowns. Having a strong posture in MMA is very important when you're in the clinch up against the cage. And having a strong posture is extremely important for jiu-jitsu when it comes to passing guard and being able to establish strong positions to prevent yourself from getting swept or submitted. Part of developing strong posture is being able to have a strong upper back. Not only is having a strong upper back very important, but having strong and stable shoulders is also very important when it comes to decreasing your overall risk of injury in the cage or on the mat. One of the best exercises to develop upper back strength as well as help improve shoulder strength and stability is going to be the banded Y press. What you're going to need is a mini band. We have a red mini band from EliteFTS.com. The key for this exercise is to use a band that's light enough to allow you to get anywhere from 15 to 25 reps per set, but isn't going to be so heavy that it's going to pull you forward or pull you out of the right position. How we're going to do this exercise is we're going to take a decently wide grip on the band. We're going to get our feet set, and we're going to make sure that we're bracing hard with our abs and all the muscles surrounding our trunk. We want to create 360 degrees of pressure bracing our spine, and especially we want to flex the upper abs to keep our rib cage down to prevent us from arching our back when we're pressing overhead. How you're going to perform this exercise is getting braced, getting everything tight. Bring the band up into the front rack position like you would if you were using a barbell. You're going to press overhead and spread the band apart so you look like you're doing the first part of the YMCA. One thing to note, be careful not to extend your lower back or arch your lower back as you're pressing overhead. If you're having a hard time getting your arms back in line with your ears and you're pressing out here, and then you have to extend your lower back and arch your lower back to get your arms back here, that probably means you need to focus on your shoulder mobility a little bit more. This is a great exercise that you can mix in as part of a warm-up or as part of your accessory work. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys can follow me on Instagram at Joshua Selledge. Be sure to follow my man and my mentor Phil Daru at Daru Strong, and be sure to click the link in the description below to get 7 days of free access to the Fight Dominance Training Program. If you're a combat sport athlete, the Fight Dominance Training Program is hands down the best strength and conditioning training program that you could follow to level up your performance in the ring, in the cage, or on the mat. Catch you guys later. Peace.